What up, real quick? This episode of Jojo, we're gonna do something a little bit different. You guys are gonna get the edited version, and in the link in the description, you will get the full length version. I said this before that I do this for episodes that are specifically hype and things like that. We've done this before for other episodes, but we're definitely going to do it for this episode as well, just so it's fair to everybody and everybody gets the edited version. People that like the full length version can still get the full length version. So if you want to watch the edited version, keep watching this video. If you want to get the full length version, click the link in the description. And yeah, if you're seeing this message, then that means that the edited version didn't get blocked or anything. So fingers crossed for that, and I'll see you in the video. Y'all take care. Bye bye. Fuck bitches, get money. What up, it's your boy Dvrth back at it again with another video, and today we are here with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusader Season 2, Episode 11. Last episode we were introduced to Mr. Darby. I don't even think that his name was Mr. like he had Mr. in his name, but because I for some reason thought of Mr. Darcy, I started calling him Mr. Darby. Might be totally wrong on that, but last episode we were introduced to Darby, probably one of the, if not the most dangerous stand user that we have come into contact with. He has already killed 2 of our party members. Now granted, I think we're going to get him back, but just let that sit in real quick that he has killed 2. And he hasn't even been violent yet. He hasn't even got violent, but he has somehow killed 2 of us. So he's nothing to be fucked with. Joseph is now going to play his game and going to play a game of poker. God knows how this is gonna go. Hopefully good, but honestly I'm not 100% sure. We're definitely gonna see some 400 IQ plays going on here, and you know that's like the best. That's just the best shit for me. So we're just gonna hop straight into it. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. If you just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, whether it be more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or something totally different, the best place to send that in is always my social media. My Instagram is dark2h, my Twitter's at not dark. You can DM me, you can add me, whichever one you want to do, or respond to it and make a video on it as soon as possible. Also, if you want these episodes early, you can always subscribe to my Patreon. I am truly appreciative of all my patrons, even when we weren't uploading because of the whole computer thing, but we're getting back on schedule very soon. And y'all just some real niggas, bro. Y'all just some real niggas. That's just like the simplest way I can put it. The link to my Patreon is in the description, and if you want to talk about more JoJo or anything like that we're watching, you can also join the Discord. The link's going to be in the description for that, as well as everything else I just talked about. So with all that being said, let's get our headphones, make sure they're on. Them bitches is on, and let's get into this. Oh, he's so saucy with it. Fuck nigga, what you doing? What you doing, fuck nigga? Is he about to put his soul on the line? Wait, what? Oh shit, he's turning them into actual gambling chips. Oh shit. Your mama, yo mama, bro, and your daddy. Shit. Oh my god. Oh, on baby, you bet. Oh god. Oh shit! He flashed Star Platinum, so he would think that he would switch his car. Oh my god! And he has intel on Star Platinum, so he knows how fast Star Platinum is. Pretty fast. He really has switched out not one, but all 5 cars. Could he have? That's the question. Interesting. Now he's in your head. Platinum. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's getting into everybody's. Oh my god. He's gonna call? Oh my god! No fuck! Can't say it! Can't say it! He can't say it! There's no way he can say it! He's sweating! He's gone! All life is leaving his fucking... Oh my god! Oh my god, his hair turned gray, did it? Oh my god, oh, this change of animation. Oh my god, because deep down he knew that he fucking lost. He lost a bet. Oh my. Yup. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, and he subsequently freed all. He freed all of. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Yeah, respect. Respect, bro. Respect. He gypped us. Oh yeah, Iggy. Yo. Respect, bro. Respect. Respect, bro. Oh my. Bro. Oh. That was that, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. That shit was so good. That was so good. I was fully invested in that fight. I was fully invested. I can definitely say that was probably the most invested in a fight that I have been in the entirety of me watching JoJo. And there's been some pretty good fights in JoJo, right? There's been some pretty good fights, some pretty high stakes and everything. That was the most I was invested in a fight. That was the most I was invested. I was locked in. I don't even know if I said words during that reaction, but I was locked in because of just how high stakes, how high tension that was. Even though, like, and I think it was a couple episodes ago where I was like, I hope that we get some like new ways to, because for a fact that you're gonna get like a new stand user, a new enemy stand user that you're gonna have to fight. And the next episode is gonna be a two-parter. That's kind of like the formula so far. And of course, that might get old for some people, and that it runs the risk of just getting old for some people. I said a couple episodes ago where I was like, I hope that we get like something to shake it up, something to like really bring a different vibe to the fight. And god damn it, we got it with Mr. Darby. That shit was hard. That, like, the first part of Mr. Darby's fight, like last episode, was good just because like I enjoy a good gamble. I enjoy high stake gambling and all the other stuff. I enjoy it. I enjoy the psychological warfare that goes against it. I enjoy the physical warfare that goes against the small tactics that go into winning a game, and gambling to win. Not gambling to gamble, but gambling to win. But this episode turned it all up to 11. It just turned it all up to 11. I was completely and utterly just hyped for this one. And I mean, I guess we could start off by talking about how well they portrayed the tension in this episode, because here's the thing. Pretty much since the beginning of episode 1, or not episode 1, episode 1 of part 3, or at least when we actually began our journey in part 3, the formula was pretty standard and understandable. Enemy stand, defeat enemy stand, and that you're most likely going to come out okay in that fight, because you have to make it to Dio. And there was a lot of tension in those fights. Those fights got really sticky really fast, and those fights were really dangerous and all that other stuff. Like, physically they were really dangerous, and the beat downs felt justified and all this other shit. But this episode, this fight specifically, I think it's the fact that Mr. Darby automatically, just like that, took out 2 of our party members. Just like that, 2 of them dead. And you're like that? It's like that? So the thought of 2 more being killed, Kakyoin and Abdul, fucking Kakyoin, Abdul, and Jotaro. But Kakyoin, Abdul, Jotaro, and Holly Joestar. Come on, bro. Once you start throwing in all these pieces, you're like, oh shit, oh my god, what are you doing? And you kind of lose yourself in the meta, right? You lose yourself in the meta is that Jotaro has to get out of this. Joseph and Polnareff have to get back up. It just makes sense. That's the meta, right? But in the tension is what makes you forget about that meta, and that's when you can write and animate good tension. That's when you're writing and animating good tension. When the tension makes you forget about the meta. When you forget that this is an anime and you're watching the main character do main character shit. So like, why would you have any fear for the main character's life or his friends? Because he's the main character and he's gonna, get the crown, save the town, and Mr. Krabs. Why would you be afraid? But that tension makes you forget, oh shit, this is a main character. It goes from watching the main character do main character shit to watching some guy try his best to get out of a situation. And that's what that when you're writing something like this, you kind of want to portray that. You don't want to portray your character as a main character, you want to portray him as a character. And tension is one of those things that can turn your main character into just a character. I know that Isayama likes to do things like this as well, where he likes to turn his characters just into characters, not a main character, not a protagonist, not not the chosen one. He is just a man in this world. And when the tension is turned up to 11 and your friends have already been killed and you've already witnessed how dangerous this guy, your enemy, can be, you're not the main character anymore. You're a man in this world, in this position, in this situation. Now you're here. And as a viewer, you're looking at the same thing as you're in his shoes. You're like, fuck, I'm putting it all on the line and hoping for the best. You at that point, you're not the viewer anymore. You are literally in you're in the mind of Jotaro. And this episode, with just the writing of the fight, and there really wasn't a fight. It really wasn't, but it was the best fight that I have seen in JoJo. There really wasn't a fight. No, there was no punch. The most violent that it got was when Jotaro broke Mr. Darby's finger, and that was only because he started cheating. But it was, all in all, it was a fight. It was a battle. It was face to face. It was two men going against each other for their lives. And that's what every fight has been, except this one did it with a twist, a gambling twist. And it's such a great way to flip the perspective of the whole meta thing that we've been going against. Of course we're going to beat Mariah's ass. Like, she has to go. You know what I'm saying? Of course we're going to beat Alessi's ass. He has to go. Of course we're going to beat Anubis' ass. He has to go. But Mr. Darby was different. Mr. Darby, or at least his episode, was so different because Mr. Darby planted that seed of doubt. Mr. Darby planted that seed of doubt, which is amazing, because that's the same thing you want to do when it comes to gambling. Mr. Darby planted that seed of doubt not only in Joseph, in Paul Naref, and maybe even Jotaro and Abdul and everybody, but he planted that seed of doubt in the viewer as well. You felt that whenever Mr. Darby was would smirk or like allude to actually like being able to win this, and like you're the character you're watching is like, what? You felt that. You were like, oh shit, nigga, huh? What you about to do? And because you don't know what he's about. I mean, like, I'm guessing that most people didn't know that Mr. Darby was putting the chocolate under the thing. Like, most people on first watch were like, oh yeah, okay, he's definitely putting some chocolate under the cup, and then that's how he's doing. All you knew was that Mr. Darby had a plan. That's all you knew. You knew that Joseph had a plan, sure, but Mr. Darby had a plan too. Whose plan was better? And that's kind of like how we were doing it in part 2 when we were fighting what's his name? Wham. When we were fighting Wham, Wham was like, we knew that Wham had a plan, but we knew Joseph had a plan too. It was whose plan was better, It was just constant, like, you've activated my trap card. No, you've activated my trap card. No, you've activated my trap. It's that type of shit that really gets you into it. But going back to like the planting of the seed of doubt, it's really smart the way that this went or that this fight was written and just like played out because of the whole planting the seed of doubt in the viewer's mind instead of planting the seed of doubt in Jotaro's mind. You know, just feeling like you are the one that's playing poker with Darby. You know, that you're the one that's like, I just put my best friend and my mom's soul on the line. Like, it was you, it wasn't Jotaro, it was you. And that's what got you so, that's what got me so hype about it, because and like the fact that he just kept upping the ante, and that shit was just because like because at one point they were like, okay, Joe was like, okay, my soul, and I was like, oh shit, you know, like that's crazy, your soul. But then they kept upping, and I was like, the fuck else you gonna do? He was like, man, Abdul's soul. I was like, oh, Big Abdul, the real is back, the villain's back, Flo Bodanza here, Pill is back. That's what we talking about? Big Abdul, his soul too? And then they kept on going. I was like, nigga, Abdul's soul is already laid waste. What? Who else's soul you gonna? Who else? And Darby's like, Kakuin's soul. I was like, oh, nigga, I forgot that there's people outside of this. And then that's already showing you how locked in I was into the episode, because I forgot Kakuin existed. I'm like, oh yeah, Kakuin's soul. And then the world gets bigger, because then at that point you're like, okay, Kakuin, so this is real. But then Jotaro, it pulls the power play. This wasn't even a big brain, this was just a dominance T-pose play. This man says, fuck it, my mom's soul. I was like, oh. Holly Joestar, big Holly Joestar, real ass bitch, give a fuck about a nigga. That's who. Nah, that shit was so that shit was so tense. And like I said in the beginning of the episode, I really was just supposed to be looking at the psychological warfare. Like, it was, I don't know, something in my eye. Like, the psychological warfare was top tier. This was like on some some like Death Note shit, you know, where it was like I'm L, and you're like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if anybody's seen Death Note. Like, I guess that's technically a spoiler, but like I remember one of my favorite parts of Death Note is like, one of my favorite aspects of Death Note was the psychological warfare that went down between Light and L. And one of my favorite parts of Death Note was when, and I guess spoilers for Death Note, but I mean, if you haven't seen Death Note, like, what are you doing? But like, one of my favorite parts of Death Note is when L like just basically walks up to Light and just goes, I'm L, and you're like, yo, what? Big T-pose power play. That's not a 400 IQ play. That's just a dominance play. That's dominance, right? That's just asserting dominance. And that's what Jotaro did with that Holly Joestar play. It, you know, if you look at the whole thing, like, if you look at it as a whole, you know, betting everybody's soul, making Darby think that Star Platinum was fast enough to switch out cards. Just genius. That's the 400 IQ plays that you need to be looking at. You know what I'm saying? The whole betting his mom, so that's just a power play. That's just the power. That's just saying, like, whose dick is bigger? It's definitely mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that was. But as a whole, that was the 400 IQ. That shit was hard, bro. That that episode was different. This episode hit completely different. completely different. In respects to Mr. Darby, bro, respect to Mr. Darby, because like we talked about a little bit in the last episode, but respect to Mr. Darby because he is the first and so far the only stand user so far that's actually taken pieces off the chessboard. Like, we've had stand users that like kind of like, I guess, incapacitated some people. You know, the first one for season 2 basically blinded Kakyoin, and that, you know, that took him off the board for a little bit. But Mr. Darby legitimately killed 2 people. Granted, we got them back, but Mr. Darby was no fucking joke. He killed them dead, took their soul. That shit's hard, bro. That shit is hard. Like, respect to Mr. Darby. He is not to be fucked with. And, you know, I was hoping that you know, he would lose and not lose his mind to the point of being able to tell us the secret of Dio's stand power. But, you know, I guess we'll get there when we get there. It is nice. It was nice to see that we didn't even have to beat his ass to like really beat him. We just, you know, in true psychological warfare, you know, fashion, we just broke him. And it, you know, like I said the tension of him being broken was so well done. Like the voice acting of him, you know, the voice acting I feel like we don't really talk a lot about, but the voice acting of him like losing it and hyperventilating, everybody's hyperventilating because like this is big, and like really driving it home that everybody's soul is on the line, and if Jotaro loses, everybody's dead. Not just oh damn, we lost Jotaro and Abdul and Kakyoin, the gang's dead. No, it was Holly's dead. like come on, bro. Like it was serious. So like the voice acting of just him losing his cool and like hyperventilating and rolling his R's when he was like, what, raise, you know, and you know, not being able to say call, you know, further driving home the fact that he was truly like, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck. And then the best part was the change of animation to like this animation style that's kind of reminiscent of, I think it's water. I was about to say water paint. What do you call that? It's like water ink something. I don't remember what the animation style is called, but Mob Psycho uses it a lot, and I really like that style. So to see that change, and Mob Psycho is really big on like changing animation to like show you somebody's mental state or the situation or something like that. Like Mob Psycho was really big on that, so like it was nice to see that here as well. But yeah, just to see his whole animation change and like him like truly losing himself, and then his hair slowly turning gray to the point, and it was a slow burn with his hair turning colors, and that was a nice touch, because you know, I was like, was his hair always gray, or is he just really losing it? Am I losing it? And once again, like that just shows you how well this fight was done, because like the fact that I had to ask myself, like, am I losing it? Once again, it threw it back at you. The fact that Mr. Darby was throwing that seed of doubt on it threw it back at you again in outside in a meta way of you going, am I the one that's crazy? Like at first you're like, damn, I'm starting to doubt that we can win this, but then it, you know, as soon as Jotaro's like getting his revenge in the psychological warfare, you start, you know, it's thrown back and you're like, what? Wait a minute, has his hair always been gray, or am I also feeling this tension to the point that I'm going crazy? You know, so it's nice to see that too. Like, and the fact that, you know, it all came full circle to the whole all came back full circle to the whole you know, like he just knew, like in his heart he knew that he had lost. Like it did, like it, he technically won, but he in his heart felt so much of that tension, so much of that fear, so like his psyche was that much broken to where he had convinced himself that he had lost. In a war, in a psychological war, your goal is not to kill your opponent. Your goal is to make your opponent kill himself. Like that's the goal. And in this situation, Jojo definitely won. Like he made it to the point that Darby was so devout in his, like he went from knowing that he had a really good hand to being so devout in his thinking that he would, like, that he lost, that he actually lost the game, even though technically he had won. But he had felt that he lost so deeply in his soul that he was like, fuck it, I definitely lost this game. And it's this is just like this is the best fight I've seen so far. This is the best fight I've seen so far. Just off the strength of the mind games that were being played. And it was just so it was so cool. This was like so fucking cool to see. I really enjoyed this episode. Like I really enjoyed this episode. You know, people in the comment section for the last episode were saying that this episode was going to be, or like that this fight specifically was going to be really good. And, you know, I was like, okay, cool. I'm hyped for that. That's gonna be lit. You know, so I was like hyped, but you know, I wasn't like thinking that it was gonna be like, you know, the bee's knees like that, because I try not to hype myself up too much, you know, because you never know, like people's judgment is clouded when it comes to like their favorite shows and things like that. So you can't really take somebody's word for it specifically when you know, in situations like that. But you have to like at least know, like prepare yourself, like, all right, this might be the shit. And it definitely was. This was definitely like, yeah, this was the best fight that I've seen. This is the best fight that I've seen in JoJo. Like this was really well done, and not a punch was thrown. And still, best fight I've seen so far in JoJo. This was great. This is my personal favorite, at least. This is definitely my personal favorite. Amazing. Salute to you, Mr. Darby. That was a well played game, sir. That was a well played game. You still got your ass beat, but well played game. So with all that being said, because I don't want to make I've already been having a really hard time uploading JoJo videos, because for some reason YouTube won't let me fucking upload them. It's not even copyright shit. It just, for some reason, it just takes a long time for me to upload JoJo videos, but whatever. And this video is probably going to be, this video is long enough, and if I keep talking, it's going to be like an hour and 30-minute video, and I don't want to ramble too much. So with all that being said, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. If you're just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, whether it be more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or something totally different, the best place to send that in is always my social media. My Instagram is Dvrth, my Twitter's at NotDarth. You can DM me, you can add me, whichever one you want to do. I'll respond to it, make a video on it as soon as possible. If you want these episodes early, you can subscribe to my Patreon. The link's in the description for that. And if you want to talk more with JoJo, you can join the Discord. Links in the description for that, as well as everything else that I just talked about. I'm really appreciative to my patrons, even the ones that stuck beside me during the fuck shit of the 2020 fuck shit of my computer being fucked. But you know what I'm saying, we made it on God. Appreciate everybody, man. Appreciate everybody. Once again, thank you for 10k subscribers. That shit's still unreal to me. So yeah, with all that out the way, let me get my off button ready before I fuck something up. bitch. All right. So with all that being said, you all stay amazing, stay safe, and take care of yourselves.